Hello there. First off, I apologise for the crappy sound and probably slightly squashed picture on the web camera. Let's see if I can include it in the video. Because my headset microphone, for whatever reason, decided to die on me today. It's been one of those Mondays, I'm afraid. So, yeah, I've been sitting on MudWalker version 2, X2 now for 2 years. There was no nefarious reason for that. Just quite simply that when I started writing X2 and this particular feature, it needed testing. And I was the 3D supervisor on the film Last Days on Mars at the time at Screen Scene in Dublin. And they were kind enough to allow me to mess around and, do all sorts of groovy things. Now, it needed testing. It was properly tested in production. It works fine without problems, and then it was just a case of everything was really, really busy for ages, about 2 years in fact. So anyway, I wanted to put this one out. There's some big changes coming in my life, as you will see if you watch the last ever Wayncast that's coming probably in about a week's time. I'm on editing at the moment, something a bit special. Let's just say I'm going out with a bang. Now, I haven't got time to do a fancy video of this with graphics and everything else. You will either get what this means and why it's impossible, or you will not. There's no middle ground. I'm not going to try and convince anybody to use it. You'll either realise or not. Right? So the rest of it is just standard MudWalker Reducto stuff. Okay. One thing that's happened to that is it's had a bit of sort of few bugs sorted, and that's it. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Right? No reason now to start an app up, because to be honest, it takes longer to start an app than it does and send it over than just to send the file over. Now, MudWalker's been around a long time now, longer than anything else, and there's a version of it in just about every app now, which always sort of slightly pissed me off. That it was sort of stolen wholesale by just about every 3D company on the planet. But this one, I'm actually making this idea and saying, look, guys, you want to use this idea, go with it. All right? I'll have no problem. You'll never see me sort of moan about it, because I think it is important enough. Now, MudWalker, let me explain behind it. By the way, this model is the one that, if some of you have been looking at my blog, over the last few days I've been putting the occasional things up that I work in. I work from the technical side, some of my technical experiments and things. This is part of my character creation system. This was created by my son. He's 8-year-old, and King created all this. He's used a character creation system, that I've came up with. A lot of these tools are internal, stuff like that I used on Last Days on Mars, and things that were done before that or after that. But yeah, so that's where that one comes from. It was done by an 8-year-old, and if King can make that, so can everybody else. But anyway, MudWalker was never supposed to be what it ended up as. It was never supposed to be just sending from one machine, from one bit of software to another on the same machine. It was meant to be a network. And let me explain. Some of you more eagle-eyed ones, occasionally when I put videos or screenshots, may notice that this part here that says MudNet is normally blocked out. Now, whether companies will legally be able to sidestep the minefield that this feature is, from a legal perspective, is anybody's guess. But I'll tell you what it is. MudNet is quite simply allows you to send your file, same as you would with MudWalker, but to a server. Right? You configure your server up, which is, you can use any server you like. To be honest, on my personal machine, I have a Dropbox, which I can go server location, and that's my location of my Dropbox on this machine. Right? Now that's rigged up so that every time the file is sent forward to this folder here, an email is received by the client, or because and they can have it on text message on the phone and shit, and they can immediately start using the asset. That's how you do it. You can figure this. We used to have this running. I asked Jared when I was at Screen Scene, and we had it running on a section of this Screen Scene server. But yeah, so it's been tested in production. It is up to you to make sure that you keep it secure and nailed down, right? Simple as that. It's not my fault if you let everybody in the goddamn known universe, into your server. So I'm putting that caveat out straight away. Right, so this is basically that folder there. It's basically mapped on here to a Z drive just because it makes it easier for the sake of it, right? And you will notice my somewhat creative folder structure down here with win shit and stuff. So I'm going to put that over there, because I can't share what's on the desktop, unfortunately. And how do you send it to the server? Dead easy. You just do that, and then just go send to server. And if I just go there, you can see it's already in this folder. Turns out it was an FBX, because that's basically the transport format at the moment, because not everything supports Alembic, and the different Alembic implementations aren't all equal. Well, that was my first thought. But yeah, so once you've got it there, you can get it wherever you like. Now, if I just quickly delete it, and this would be very easy to just get from server then. So you'll need to recreate the subdivision levels on it a bit. Just boss like that, get 3 subdivision levels, like that, lovely. So, if you cannot see why this is important, walk by. I don't have time to convince you, right? But if you can see why MudWalker was meant to be so much more, I just never got the chance. It had to be tested in production before I could put it out. And this feature, I think personally, is a useful one. You know what these layer things, that's actually part of the BlendWiz test system. I'm not going to recompile the plugin. I haven't got time. I've got some very big changes coming in my life. So on this one, it's this is my test one. So if you know BlendWiz, which I'll include there, it's all on Cyclecore about BlendWiz. And this one, the add layer one, runs from a text file, which basically got Batman, right? So you can just go add layer, boom, there you go, adds a load of layers, right? So you can put them layers whatever you want and pre-name them. But that's not part of MudNet, that's just I'm leaving it there because I really cannot be asked to recompile it. So hopefully you'll either see why this is good or why it's not. Now I've tested this compiled version. I'll include BlendWiz as well, just because, and it's been tested against Mudbox 2014 Service Pack 1 and 2. That's what's been tested against so far. Now, just install MudWalker from Cyclecore as usual. Make sure you get the DLLs, you're probably going to need them for Reducto. And then just replace the MudWalker X plugin with this one. I'll keep the name the same just so you can drag and drop it. And it goes in the plugin folder inside your sort of Mudbox folder. In fact, what I'll do is I'll open it on here because I know somebody's going to send me an email otherwise. I've got to make sure that you don't see certain things that may be bigger or not. But so yeah, what you basically do is you stick it in there, and if I find it, there it is there, and I just simply drag that one onto there, right? Replace it. Done. That's your install. And then play with it. Again, as with everything else I write and make available, don't send emails. I will ignore them. There's no technical support on this. What you get is what you get, okay? I compile these things while I can, but I am very tempted due to some of the changes coming to make MudWalker completely open source for everybody. Don't hold me that, don't know, right? I'm still making my mind up, but anyway, I hope you enjoy it. Hope you see why it's a good idea. So there you go. So software companies, yeah, feel free to rip this one off, and I don't mind. I think this is something that would be useful to have in all applications.